If you're new here, so am I. My name is Brittany, and I'm going to classify myself as a general content creator, but that's because I am a collector of hobbies. So, with this being my first video, I want to start off with a little bit of an introduction. I want to primarily focus on books with this channel, but I do collect hobbies, so I want to try other things as well, like cooking. I love cooking, so I might try recipes from books that I read and just recipes in general that I find interesting. I would also like to do maybe some gaming. I have been an avid gamer my whole life, started young at like 4 years old with Mario Kart and the Super Nintendo, so yay! My boyfriend has recently got me into the One Piece trading card game, and let me tell you, it's really fun. I am bad at it, but regardless, we are going to Nationals in Vegas in less than a month now. Holy shit. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm probably going to strike out real fast. Today's video is a book unhauling. You know, with the new year, of course, there's all the, I'm going to put a ban on book buying, and I'm going to clean out my bookshelves just so I can pare down to exactly what I want. For me, this goes a little bit beyond that. Not only do I have a massive collection of books, I am also moving in a few months. So I need to pare down my shit real fast. I am also a Pango Books ambassador, so I will be selling a lot of what I unhaul on my Pango Books bookstore. I think it's pangobooks.com/beesbooks. I will have a link in my description below, and I will also have a coupon code for you. So if you're new to Pango Books, you can use code BEESBOOKS. It doesn't have to be at my shop. It can be with any shop, any book you find. If you're new to shopping on Pango, that is, you get $5 off. So now let's get into the book unhauling. First book is The Program. I picked this up on a whim. I am a fan of like sci-fi dystopia kind of books. Always, you'll find a lot of these are going to be young adult books, but this sounded interesting. It has been on my shelf for years and I haven't actually read it yet. So I'm going to say it's past time for me to read it. I will give it to somebody else who will cherish it more than I do. The next book is Spindlefire. I love a fantasy fairy tale retelling. I picked it up in my I'm going to read all the fantasy retellings era. This has not been read. I probably, again, won't read it. If I do feel the need to pick it up, I will go to my Libby app and I will borrow it from the library. The next is kind of a set, but I'm selling them individually on my shop. We have Silent as the Grave and Cold as Marble. I don't know what happened to the first book. I was watching the TV show of these books, I want to say 3 years ago now. I was interested. I don't do a lot of horror. I don't do a lot of like even young adult horror. But it's paranormal. You know, they play Stiff as a Board, Silent as a Grave, or some. I think that's what it's called anyway. I don't know. In the first one, and they're a group of teenagers who are being, I don't know, hunted down by this curse. It's not for me. I had fun watching the show while I was sick. I had an ear infection and it did its job to entertain me while I was in bed. Yes, I have fallen victim to YouTube books in my past. A Work in Progress by Connor Franta. I read it when it came out. I enjoyed it when it came out. But there is a lot of privilege being a YouTuber and publishing books. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. I love that they get to tell their stories. I love hearing about people's lives. But I read it once and it sat on my shelf ever since. And this book came out in 2015. Ever since 2015, that's now almost 11 years. This book has been sitting on my shelf and has only been read once. The next book on my Unhaul list is To Kill a Shadow. Bought it because it's pretty and it has purple sprayed edges. Purple is one of my favorite colors. It's a romantasy. I love romantases, but I could not get into this. I tried. I read it. I started it. Let's be real. I DNF'd this book, but I started reading it years ago when it came out again. And I got maybe 30 pages in, was not interested in it at all. Goodbye, have fun. I'm sure it's for someone. It's just not for me. The next book is The Memory Thief. I bought it. It was cheap. It sounded interesting. I'm not going to read it. It's a young adult fantasy. Sometimes those hit real well. Sometimes, though, just reading about a 17-year-old is not for me. I am in my 30s now. So, yeah, let's move on. The next book is Anna and the French Kiss. I want to write. I am currently working on a young adult queer contemporary romance. So I figured I would pick up contemporary young adult romance, whether it's queer or not. And I was hoping that I would be interested enough to read in the same genre that I'm writing. It's not one I gravitate towards. So I picked this up. And then it came in, I unboxed it, and it sat on my shelf. Again, it's a beautiful copy. Perfectly great condition. It's going to someone else now. Next one is All Signs Point to Yes. It is an astrological fantasy fiction, I think young adult collection of stories. One for each of the zodiac signs. It sounded really interesting, and I would really like to have read it, but I just don't have time. And with it being one that I haven't really been like itching to read, it's going away. I'm sorry, but it needs to go away so I can downsize and make room for other things that make me happy. This one is one might shock people. The Waterstones edition of Dune. Look at this thing. It is a brick. It's beautiful. It has great pages. It isn't the full special edition from Waterstones where it had, the worm on the page edges. That one was out of stock by the time I got to ordering. But they had this version, and it was nice. And it was around the time that the first movie came out. So I figured, why not? It's one of the forefront leading sci-fi novels. But my sister read it before me and told me a little bit about the story writing style. It sounds absolutely like a slogfest. And I need action filled, otherwise my attention span will go to zero very fast. I cannot keep a brick of a book around that I'm not going to be reading. I will say it does have some water damage. It was delivered to me in the dead of winter. It was sitting in a puddle on my front doorstep for hours while I was at work, and I couldn't get a replacement. I couldn't get it fixed. It is what it is, but it's still very readable. If you don't mind a little bit of wave on your pages, it's fine. Great. This one is also going. It's called A Scatter of Light. Again, I think this fell into my I want to read into YA contemporary romance, just kind of seeing what the genre will hold and what other authors are currently doing within the genre. especially with it being a queer story. This one was more of a rescue, I'm going to be honest. My local bookstores do not often get queer books in. I am in a very, very conservative area, and the books that they do get in that are queer, this one states on the back very clearly that it's queer. They don't sell well, and they are not treated well on the shelves in the bookstores. So whenever I find them, especially used, I try to rescue them when I can, and then I rehome them. So since I'm not reading it, we're rehoming, and I hope one of you will enjoy it a lot. The next one is more new. It's Falling Like Leaves. Again, this one was a cover buy. It looked really cute. Trying to read in the YA contemporary romance genre, so I know what I'm writing. But the problem is, writing style was a bit more childish. A younger reader would probably love this. Being 35, this is not quite for me, but somebody else out there will love it, and I hope it finds the right person. This one might be, the next one is probably a surprise to people who know me. Yes, I am getting rid of a cozy fantasy book. I love cozy fantasy, but this is not it. For me, I understand it has a big cult following. A lot of people love it, and I can understand why. But for me, it's too slow. I like cozy, and those can read slow, but there's usually something to grasp onto, something that is interesting and intriguing to me. But this one, I didn't find it. I don't know where the disconnect is, but the writing is great. The writing style, the pacing of it. I'm sorry, guys. Please don't come for me if it's your favorite book. It's just not for everybody, and that's okay. The next book, The Honey Witch. I'm not sure why I picked it up. Probably more along the lines of cozy vibes. I don't know. I've never even opened it. I never really looked into more about what it is other than what it says here on the back. But somebody else will enjoy. The next one was kind of also a pairing, but it's a bit more of a difficult choice for me to make. We have Dungeons and Drama and Dating and Dragons. They're really cute contemporary young adult romance. I love the nerd tropes. I love seeing, more of what I would have been interested in as a kid being represented in young adult. They're quirky, they're fun, they're light, they're a very fast read. I really enjoyed them. But I think for me, they are a one read and move on. They're not something I'm going to redo. They're not something I'm going to gravitate towards again. If there's going to be more in this series, I'm happy to keep reading. But I think I'll be getting them through the library. I don't need to own them. The next one is These Infinite Threads. I really loved the first book in this series. I started reading this almost immediately when it came out, and I got maybe 30 to 60 pages in, and I couldn't tell you what happened. I don't know what's going on in this story. I don't remember. The first book was very memorable. I know exactly what happened in that one. But this one, I tried physically reading it. I tried listening to it through the Libby app. It's not holding my attention, and I'm so sad because I love Tahara Mafi's writing. Her writing is so beautiful. The pacing is generally really good, but it just isn't holding my interest. The next book is The Underwild. It's a middle grade book that, I know I said some young adult books are a little too young for me, but middle grade sometimes is so good. And this is one that is so good, but I won't be rereading in the future. It's a story about a girl who lives in the underworld Her caretaker is Charon from the Greek mythologies. He's the farrier of souls. The main character is Charon's understudy, charge, ward, whatever you want to call her. He's taking care of her in the underworld. And she ends up ferrying her first soul in this story and goes off on a crazy adventure of Greek mythology proportions. And it's such a good story. It made me cry. I'm not ashamed to admit this book made me cry a little bit, but I think this one absolutely needs to be shared. If you're into middle grade or if you have a young reader, this is a great book for that. It deals a lot with grief. It deals a lot with family and connections and what it means to have a family and memories and all of these things that build and create a soul. But it's very accessible. I love this book. But again, it's got to get shared with the world. So into the shop it goes. The next book I feel way less passionate about. The Lovely War. I read this during the pandemic. I love the mythology aspect. I love the gods. I loved one of the storylines. It's been so long now that I read it, I can't remember character names or really too much about it. I know they were like the more impoverished couple. I think he was a soldier. That storyline was good. It's not bad. It's just not for me. And that's okay. The next book is one I have debated on for the past couple of years, whether or not to put it in my Pango shop. It's called This Dark Descent. This is the Owl Crate edition. It's beautiful. It has, the custom end pages. I think the back ones are different as well. It has beautiful hard casing, a reversible dust jacket. I started reading this one, and I really wanted to like it. I really did. It's fantasy horse races. The main character is asexual, and you don't see that very often, especially in romantasy. It just didn't quite get there for me. I read maybe half of the book. I tried listening to the book, and it wasn't holding my interest. It focused, I think, a little too much on the horse racing part for me, and not enough on the character interactions. So I wanted to love it. I held on to it. It's time to let it go. The next book might be a little controversial. The next choice, I guess, to get rid of this book. I am actually getting rid of my copy of Fairy Loot's version of Thorn Season. I'm only doing it because I have a duplicate. But the reason why I say this choice might be questionable for some people is because I'm getting rid of the Fairy Loot edition. I'm only getting rid of the Fairy Loot edition because I'm keeping the standard edition. This is why I say it's controversial. Don't come at me, but I think that the standard edition is prettier than the Fairy Loot edition. And that kind of pains me to say. But this one's smaller, it's easier to hold, it's way more lightweight. And I love the pink, I love the spring color vibes of it. It's beautiful. This one is beautiful in its own right, but it focuses a lot on character art, as you'll see. And the front cover, also beautiful. And the back pages, wonderful. Look how beautiful. But I don't know, there's something about the standard edition that makes it even more appealing to me. And the last set of books I'm getting rid of. Also, they are very frequently a favorite of young adult readers. It's the entire Diviners series of Libba Bray, or by Libba Bray. It's not just the Diviners series, it's the Bookish Shop special editions. let me hang on. Hold on. Yeah. Look how beautiful these are. These are each individually signed by the Bray. You'll see custom character end capers, the signature page, and it's like that for each of the 4 books. This is again a book series that I have tried to get into. I have tried. I got the standard edition when it first came out. I tried listening to it. I tried rereading it, the physical copy. I just can't get past the first book. It's set in the 20s. You know, I love the Roaring 20s, Flappers vibes. It's got seances and ghosts and murder and all this intrigue. Something about it just doesn't mesh with me and what I like to read. So I will be getting rid of these books. So there we go. We have my first book Unhaul, and look for other content from me. I don't know what's coming up on my next video. It might be another book Unhaul. It might be a book review. It might be even gaming related. I found on my desktop some old Nancy Drew games, so I might be filming those. I might even take a page out of my boyfriend's book and try filming my practice to go to the One Piece TCG Nats. I'm not good at it, but I gotta practice, so what better way than to, you know, film and try to get help from other viewers. If you want to support me and pick up some great books in the process, head over to pangobooks.com/beesbooks, and there you'll see I have other books that I didn't even mention on my shop. But if you don't have the money to support, that is totally fine. That's very understandable. You can also support just by watching the videos, hitting the like and subscribe, and commenting. Whatever you can do will be great. I appreciate support. And with that all said, I think this is the end of the video for me, and I will see you the next time that I see you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye!